I had a doctor's appointment. I said, I don't mind staying if you want to go on. Yes, you gonna make me. You gonna make me.
Come on in here, please.
You too?
Well, no, I didn't. I know they're going to come back and ask me again for something. Well, that's later, Bill.
Welcome to the show.
I'm just so excited.
All righty. I'd like to call to order the August 16th, 2016 City of Statesboro City Council meeting. I would like to ask Councilman Sam Jones to please lead us in our invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, I just want to say thank you for allowing us to come together here in Statesboro City Council chambers today. Let us come together, sit down and reason together with better than all the citizens of Statesboro and our guests. In the Father, the Son, and Holy Spirit, we ask that the Holy Spirit guide and lead us. And let us remember that you have all the purpose and we have plans, and just have mercy upon us as we sit together, reason together, that better than all men and women are citizens of Statesboro. Thank you. Together, all God's children say. Congratulations.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just don't think I can follow that very well. I'll try. No, I'm not going to try. Never mind. Okay, as you can see, we have two councilmen that will not be with us this evening, so everybody stay healthy for the next hour. Do we have any public comments, Ms. Smith? Okay. If not, then we'll move on to agenda item 4, which is a consideration of a motion to approve the consent agenda. I want to ask for council to please review what's on that consent agenda and then ask for a motion. Do I have a motion? Do I Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have any discussion? If not, all in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Agenda item 5, update from the Alcohol Advisory Board. Dean Jackson, come forward, please. Introduce yourself.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. My name is Patrice Jackson, and I serve as the chair of the Alcohol Advisory Board appointed by this council. The board members and I would like to thank you for the opportunity to serve. I submit this report on behalf of Laura Wheaton, Woody Pumphrey, Jim Thibodeau, who's with us today, Matt Hubie, and Schubert Lane. The Alcohol Advisory Board meets every second Monday at 4 p.m. in council chambers. We have had 2 meetings so far, July 11th, 2016, and August 8th, 2016. Our next meeting is scheduled for September 12th, 2016. We are currently working on 3 open matters. Number 1, Attorney Bob Michael presented a proposal on behalf of the Tormenta Soccer League to add to the definition of a catered event within the ordinance to allow licensed alcohol beverage caterers to furnish alcohol at public events for profit. It was suggested that Ron Huckabee from the Department of Revenue is supportive of this revision. The board voted to make contact with Mr. Huckabee prior to making a recommendation to City Council. Number 2, representatives from Applebee's and representatives from Buffalo Wild Wings requested the Serve Safe curriculum be accepted as adequate training for their staff. The board voted to compare the Serve Safe curriculum with our current TIPS curriculum in order to determine if the recommendation should be made to City Council. Number 3, Mr. William Lord proposed to have the Training Institute for Responsible Vendors Incorporated curriculum accepted as adequate training for vendors and their staff members in the city of Statesboro. The board voted to compare this curriculum to the TIPS curriculum as well in order to determine if the recommendation should be made to City Council. It is the expectation of the board that this research will be completed before our next meeting. We expect to decide on recommendations to City Councils on all of these matters in the September 12th meeting, barring any significant challenges. Recommendations are scheduled to be presented at the City Council meeting on Tuesday, September 20th, 2016. Are there any questions at this time?
I do have one, and actually I spoke with, I guess, City Attorney Leonhardt, or I'm not sure I spoke to either Alvin, Robert Cheshire. We had an issue where we had some confusion on interpretation. Part of the alcohol ordinance that had to do with pricing. And a lot of folks that are in, have alcohol licenses said that they weren't sure how to interpret it. And actually, Councilman Boyd brought it to everyone's attention. And it's kind of like that thing where you look at a picture and some people see a lamp and some people see a face.
Yes.
It's kind of like that, and I understand that. And they were just asking for clarification, even though we talked about this was intent. I don't know if you were there for this discussion that we had during a council meeting, and I understand their concern. They just want it more clear so that the intent that was behind it is very clear.
Sure.
And now it could be interpreted one way by, one police officer and one way by another. So I know y'all can't make any decisions on that at your next meeting, but I'm going to ask Alvin Leonhardt just to get with you and show you that part
Yes, ma'am.
of the ordinance, and maybe y'all can begin to have those conversations about how to clear it up.
Absolutely.
If that's okay. And the only reason I suggest that, I know these things are kind of first and foremost on our minds, as folks need, they come and ask about the training and that kind of thing. But I don't want to leave our folks that have an alcohol license with us hanging.
Sure.
So that's it for me. It's just if y'all can begin to look at that and see if you've got some suggestions of how to word it so that it takes away the ambiguity.
We'll add it to the agenda.
Okay, excellent.
It concerns whether or not they can have happy hour.
Okay, is that the question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It really is. People are worried that they can't change their prices during the day or during the week.
Understood. Thank you. We'll add it to the agenda and have that discussion.
And just, give them to review it. I'll call you and show you some of the concerns they had about why they didn't really understand it, but all we wanted is just clarify and say, here's the rules.
Absolutely.
Well, you understand them, so that's it. Did you have anything you want to add to that?
should be happy, so.
Yeah, it's funny they call it happy hour. Just so.
No, it was 2 hours, so obviously a drunk guy came up with it.
Good man.
Thank you all so much.
Thanks for having that. Okay. Thanks, Patrice. And listen, please communicate to all those that are serving that we sincerely appreciate it. I think there are a lot of, the folks on there are well-intentioned and good people, and I know you're doing a lot of hard work. I understood that your last meeting was rather long. How long was it?
About 3 hours.
So, I mean, if you weren't really trying to understand and do the right thing, it wouldn't be that long. So, we sincerely appreciate your service. And y'all have to stay on it for how long? What's the time?
2 years.
2 years, okay. Just want to remind you that. All right, thank you so much. All right, agenda item 6, public hearing and consideration of a motion to approve application V 160701. I am going to first off ask council to motion to open a public hearing. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? All in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
The public hearing is opened. We will ask Mr. Neal to please come forward and introduce this item.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We have a variance request for 101 Brampton Avenue. As stated, it's in Article 15, Section 1509, Table 5, regarding the maximum number of total square feet for a building sign in the sign district 3. The applicant's Ms. Jennifer Ronenberger, and I believe she's here today. The owner is Hutton Team LLC. This property is located on 1.1 acres, and it is located in the market district. The applicant requests a variance for the sign ordinance regarding the maximum number of total square feet allowed for a building sign. The applicant's original request met the sign ordinance. They had 7 signs originally submitted, and they have revised that request now to increase the size limit to 93.82 square feet. The original submittal was for 41.70 square feet on that front sign. They also originally proposed a monument sign. They have since withdrew that request as a request of the Market District Review Panel. If you look at the site location right now, you'll see they have a front sign. That's the sign. That's the actual location. That's the proposed new sign, wall sign, 98 square feet. The next one, sure. No, actually, that's good. This is what they originally proposed. This is the original proposal. And the one we just added on is what they're proposing now. So it's basically doubling the size of that front signage. Staff has recommended a denial of the request based on there's no hardship, there's no real reason for the approval, and Planning Commission has approved the request unanimously. Anyone have any questions?
So, back on what you said, what of all of this fits within the ordinance?
This was their original application. All of that originally fit.
Fit, all of this, right?
All of this fit. If you get to the next
So this
one,
is what's going up,
and it's actually this.
but that goes on there.
That's the front. The
Yeah.
front facing, and go back one, and now they're wanting to increase the size to this. Basically doubling the size of that one front sign, wall sign. And if you go to one more, and if you notice, these are the other 3 elevations. They have a circular sign here, wall sign, and one more, the rear wall sign. So they'll have 4 wall signs that they have already been permitted and approved. It's just that one front sign, basically, that they're doubling the size of.
And the monument goes away.
And the monument goes away.
do I have anybody here, well, first of all, does anybody have any questions, but hang on. All right, do I have anybody here to speak in favor of this variance? Please come up and state who you are.
Good evening. My name is Jennifer Romberger. I'm with Atlas Sign Industries on behalf of Panda Express. My address is 1077 West Blue Heron Boulevard, West Palm Beach, Florida. Can we open mine? I've created something for you. But actually, if you don't mind, can we, okay, we'll do this however. The 7 signs, I just want to be clear as to, I know it sounds like a lot, you know, you hear 7 signs, you're like, oh my God, 7 signs. I want to tell you what that is. When you go through the drive-thru at any fast food restaurant, we have the directional sign to make sure that people don't go in the wrong way. We have the menu board, the clearance bar, and we also have the order point screen. So that's 4 out of the 7 signs right there. Code does allow 1 sign for every elevation, and we do have that as well. The one thing we're asking for is an increase in sign just on the front elevation, which is the east elevation. So this is something I put together for you. We can go past this. This is just the variance part. This is my property, which this gentleman just showed you. Let me just tell you a little bit before we get started who Panda Express is, okay? Panda Express is a family-owned business. Back in 1973, they started their business, okay? And then 10 years later, their fast food and their takeout really expanded. And then that's when they created Panda Express, okay? They now to this date, go to the next one. They now to this date have over, at 46 states, over 1,800 employees. 1,800 stores. Now, also, Panda Express, just to give you a little bit of history here, Panda Express does give back to the community and everything that they do, just so you guys know. In 1999, they started a foundation called Panda Cares, and to date, they've given back $46.9 million to underprivileged children and, underprivileged children and disaster relief throughout the country. So they're a pretty good neighbor to have. Okay, 27,000 associates, that's our property. Now, this right here is a new store in Lafayette, Louisiana. These buildings were designed in mind to have this size sign on there. That is your 93 square foot sign. It is a Pollock background. It's going to be a white channel letter set instead of the red that you see in this photo here. And if you go to the next one, that is what the building is going to look like here when it's done. That was submitted to the market district, just so you guys are aware of what's coming to town. The logo that's on the right side of the channel letter set is not going to be there. It's just going to be the channel letters there. Okay? And then these are just some facts that I put together for you guys. Just so you know, the sign itself, I know that it's over the 50 square feet. However, the design intent of this building is to have that size sign on it. I don't want to put anything here. I'm a national sign company. I don't want to give you guys something that I'm going to walk away from it and say, this is not going to look right. You know, I know that this is not going to look right. Designers and architects throughout the entire country, and people do this all over town. This is what everybody is asking for. This is what people are getting. This is really what's best for the industry and for this location. Can you just go back to it for me? Okay, and one more. So you see, that's an existing business that shows. So as far as, you know, what you see and what looks like it doesn't meet, it's really up to interpretation, because this is what, you know, we feel fits the size and scale of this building. Any questions?
I just want to clarify something, and I could be confused about it, but when you keep saying that's the front, isn't that facing Brampton Avenue?
That is facing Brampton, that's
Okay,
in front
well,
of the
a lot of people would think that front is facing Fair Road, so I just wanted to clear up that that is not facing Fair Road, that's facing.
That's correct, that's
Right.
facing Brampton, yes, and that is the only entrance into the restaurant.
Yeah. I just think that might have been a little bit.
Do we have anybody here that would like to speak against or speak regarding this? Probably shouldn't be my peanut when I go.
And I represent the Market District Property Owners Association Architectural Review Committee, which is about, but we look at, everybody has to submit signed applications, building applications to the review committee. We've looked at this and we've worked with them extensively in some of the other aspects, landscape and everything else. We're okay with anything you wish to do as far as the size of this wall sign. What we would like to see is that incorporated into this is the elimination of the ground sign. We feel like that's a little too much, and that it has potential of blocking the main market district sign, which is an entrance to that little shopping area. So we are opposed to a ground sign if that's part of the application. Right now, my understanding that's been withdrawn. You know, whatever you do between the size that's originally submitted and this size, either way, between or the full size, we're okay with that. As far as the review committee, we would like to see the ground sign.
So,
I can address that. The ground sign is eliminated. Reason being is that there was easements and everything in the way that we're not permitted to have any ground sign at all at this property.
So the ground sign is the monument.
The monument sign, yes, and it's not proposed or will be. There's easements that are unfortunately set restrictions won't allow us to have it.
so let me, I just want to understand, Doug, so you're saying that you don't have an issue with the sign as is presented right here?
We don't have any issue with that at all.
And that's the 93 square foot sign?
And we don't have any issue if it's smaller, it's just whatever. You know, our position on that is whatever you guys want to do about the size of the sign, as long as we just feel like the ground sign.
Does council have any questions for anyone regarding this at all?
I'd like to ask Frank, the staff is against this proposal. Is that simply because it defies what's
Yeah,
written?
it exceeds the limits and it was no true hardship, but this is basically what we face on beyond that. There's no topographical issues, no blocking, anything blocking the building or anything like that.
She did make a point, though, that all the signs added together still fit within the overall square footage, is that correct?
That is correct, yes.
Is that right?
Is that right, Kendra?
Yeah, I'm short.
I don't
I
think
have
the total is
147 square feet of additional allowable square footage according to the site because I have 2 street frontages, which doubles my frontage to 300, and I'm short by 147.
With regard to the incidental signs, the menu board, clearance and everything else, we did not include that in the aggregate. So at the end of the day, what has been proposed and approved fits well within the aggregate. If we add this sign to that, I think we might exceed it. I'm not certain. I don't have the file in front of me.
It does not.
Well, it depends. Would you include the menu signage board in the aggregate?
Typically, we do not, Madam Mayor. We
Okay,
do not
now,
include
now,
it.
you wouldn't typically do that?
That's correct.
Okay. What was the original sign prior to this one? What was the square footage on it?
It was 41.7.
41.7. So do you have varying signs? You got a 41.7, you got a 93?
I have a 65.
A 65. So what's our limit for 41? What's our
50.
limit? 50?
50 square feet.
So if you're gonna blow it out, let's just be honest. If you're gonna blow it past the 50, you might as well go all the way up to the 90.
Well, I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. We do this across the country. Okay, this is not my first rodeo here. Okay, I've been doing this for 10 years. I understand how this works. I can get a smaller sign up there. It's not gonna look as good. I'm telling you right now. I mean, I don't live here, but I don't want to have my name on something. I am not. It's not who I am professionally. It's not who I am. I don't want to put my name on something that I know is not going to look as good as what.
I mean, that
what
sign
you guys
is designed to
have.
fit over the door entrance.
It is designed, yes.
And it's designed in such a way where it's not an actual sign, you're just putting it on the wall, so it doesn't have the same impact as a rectangle on the
Correct.
wall.
Correct.
But it is aesthetically designed to fit over that.
Yes, and the other thing is that it's got a, the letters have a thinner font, so it doesn't look, I understand the word 93 square feet, it sounds tremendous, but it's a thinner font, it's not a big box sign, it's not a big blob hanging out in the middle, I mean, it's classic, it's nicely done.
You said the letters will be white, not red, correct?
That's correct. Mm-hmm. These are the next one. That's okay, that's right there on that side elevation, that's the elevation that was presented to the market district, but without the logo off to the right-hand side on the east elevation there. On the back road.
Mr. Mayor, what is your opinion of approving this variance for the sign?
I think we're gonna be setting a precedent for
precedent we set.
Robert, are we setting precedent with the sign ordinance, considering how squirrely the sign ordinance has been over the years?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you go beyond, being a hardship versus aesthetics, and I hear you, kind of have the same argument probably. But, how do you tell the next one?
You think your sign's ugly, so you don't get it.
You tell them we can't have a freestanding sign because we have easements in the way, and that don't allow us to have the same, approval that other, businesses are allowed to have.
Doug, has this,
Y'all chose a lot now.
I'm sorry, has this passed the architectural review committee of the market?
I think we approved the smaller one, and then we knew they were gonna, ask for the larger one, and we wrote a letter to the city and said our position is if you approve something in between, we'd like to continue on eliminating the market.
So are you okay with the sign that looks just like that?
I don't think we got dog in that hunt. I think we're probably, and that's kind of, I understand the idea of not setting precedent, but I think as far as we're concerned, whatever council wants to do on that, we're okay with it. But, that's your call.
I don't know, I just, and I understand aesthetics are important. But at the end of the day, no more, no less people are going to come into your business if you have a 41 or 65 or 93 square foot sign. They're going to want to go to Panda Express, and it's going to look good when you get done. I have no doubt about it. What I don't want to do is put the onus on my planning and zoning department that every time somebody walks in, they go, well, look what you let Panda Express have. And, at the end of the day, if it's not a hardship, I'm saying just because I want something prettier, then they've got to make a judgment what's pretty, what's not pretty. What looks great there, design, what doesn't look right there. So, that's my concern, because I'm handing my planning and zoning department a precedent on signage in that area, when it isn't a hardship that affects your business other than it looks better. Let's just be honest. It looks better. Well, the next one that comes and you got bigger doors, it's gonna look even better. That's why I have a hard time with it. Not that I don't hear what you're saying, I promise you I do. But I know you're talented. Y'all can make it look good with what you have to do with, so that's my thought.
May I ask a question? I know that it was brought up at the other, meeting, and I don't know if there was an answer to it, but I do know that my client's gonna wanna know, and, I need to respond. So, Walmart has a much larger than 50 square foot sign, and I was told that they didn't have a variance on that, so how was that granted?
I don't know, we have to go back and look. I don't know if something changed in this or how that, we have to go back and look at that, it's a matter of public record.
Okay,
So,
I understand. I'll ask staff.
Are there other
they
references?
also got a stoplight, just so you know.
Are there other
And
references?
I know Panda has done a lot as well in this area too. I know they have.
Are there other references besides Walmart that would be applicable to defying the ordinance?
I mean,
I can't answer that.
I can't answer.
Yeah, Kmart.
Kmart's been a long time. I don't know when that,
I
the
don't
sign
know.
ordinance has been revised over time, so.
There's been issues with this, all kinds of different facets of the sign ordinance for a while. And we keep trying to lock it down, and so, this is just one of many instances of confusion about the sign ordinance. Either too aggressive or too detailed or too, when you're, I see you shaking your head over there, Robert.
When I started with the city, it was one page. You couldn't be in the right of way and couldn't flash.
Now you can't have the wavy arm guy.
That's for sure.
But the council, was changing. Every so often, they were big on, you got too many signs. And like the temporary signs, we got rid of all those temporary changeable copy signs that were just sat out there by themselves. And that was a big undertaking. But I think each council needs to set the tone for what they're looking for, and we revise it accordingly so that we don't have to keep coming for variances.
Well, ultimately, wouldn't you say limiting the size of the signs is for aesthetics? Why else are we limiting the size of the sign?
Yeah, because DOT is gonna tell you what you can do. It's gonna be a hazard on that road, so, it is aesthetics.
Yeah, I certainly don't want to be part of breaking the setting a precedent for breaking what exists, but, I mean, I'm looking at this thinking, there's nothing wrong, it looks great. I mean, I'm trying to be careful not to do that, but.
Well, again, as I mentioned before, it's not a sign that's a rectangle that's stuck up on the wall, you know what I mean? It blends in with the building itself, so it looks different than a typical sign.
I can tell you, I mean, we have, like I said, I'm a national sign company. We are involved in the Southern State Sign Association. We do this nationally, and we go to councils and everything and talk to people about all of this. Just because what somebody writes in code does not necessarily mean that's the right thing for the area and for the business and for the town, like, you know. And there has to be some, that's the reason why we're all here, right? And it's not just me asking for a larger sign. I mean, it's also about you guys saying that this is the right thing for your area. It's about what you want everything to look like. And I mean, like you said, there's nothing wrong with that building. And not to mention, we have 2 street frontages, and in that staff report, it clearly says I'm under by 147 square feet of allowable area as an overall for the development. Please help.
All right, before I ask to close the public hearing, is there anybody else who would like to speak on this matter coming from council? Okay, if not, speak now, forever hold your peace. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Do I have any discussion? All in favor, please say by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing is closed. Now we'll move to the consideration of a motion to approve application 160701.
I'll move to approve 16-07-01.
All right, do I have a second?
A second.
Do I have any discussion? Okay, in that case, all in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
All right, agenda item 7, motion to authorize the city manager to enter into negotiations with the ecological planning group for a contract to provide a stormwater master plan. Mr. Franklin.
The city produced an RFQ, request qualifications for a planning group to basically assess, the idea is to assess our current inventory being culvert ditches and whatnot, to produce an inventory list of that and offer recommendations. Currently to date, I think we've completed 20% of that project in previous actions. This will complete the other 80%. Following the RFQ, we had a committee that evaluated submittal from firms based on experienced staff and similar projects. Unanimously, we picked EPG, which is the Ecological Planning Group. Our recommendation is to allow city manager to go into negotiations and bring back a contract and an amount for consideration. So this will be part of the stormwater management program. Any questions? Myself or Brad, with that answer?
Does council have any questions?
I know, but it seems exciting if you're doing that.
I think so. Strategic plan, any kind of plan, do it.
We really need this to help us with our CIPs, to do that strategic planning. It gives us an idea of where are the worst places and where do we need to start. We just bang the bug probably in this case. So we really need this information.
Right, they're going to inventory the other 80% that wasn't initially inventory. All that will be put into the city GIS database, so we'll be able to use that. And all the information is going to go on and figure out our free prioritizing our CIP list for stormwater, and also helping set up a maintenance schedule for areas that need it more than others. And that kind of stuff.
So in many respects, this is like a one-time data entry contract?
Yes, of course it'll have to be continued.
Well, sure, every time you add
updated,
something, yeah.
But this will get everything in the city, that wasn't that first 20%, pipe, ditches.
Like our other utilities, which we have the maps, lot of times we're just guessing here as to what it is, what size it is, what condition it's in. This is gonna give us that inventory.
So you'll have a stormwater map, you'll know exactly.
Yeah.
And it also kind of find where the issues are. For example, like, you know, if you got a pipe that's got a big hole in it somewhere or something like that, we're gonna try to identify those issues as part of this.
How long do you think it'll take to do it, you know?
It's gonna take a pretty good while.
Okay.
Any thoughts, Marcos?
I'll take probably 8 months. It'll be
It's substantial, but this is the same group that did the first one, so they have the routine down. So that's if anything, they'll do as quickly as possible.
And this obviously is just the entering negotiations for price.
You'll come back.
Going to come back and we actually have that.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Do I have a motion to authorize the city manager to enter into negotiations with the Ecological Planning Group for a contract to provide a stormwater master plan?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you very much. Darren can stay. Looks like we got both can stay. Just good Lord, the whole was in there. Yeah, I looked out of there. All right, consideration of a motion to approve the purchase of fiscal year 2017 replacements of desktop and laptop computers. Yes, sir.
This is our yearly replacement. Typically, we replace desktops every 6 years and laptops every 4. Tends to be the average life of each of those types. This year, that's our budget, the $67,500. We would ask, and we will purchase this from Dell off state contract. It's already been bidded out. We've had good success with it. So with that, we recommend spend up to $67,500 to make the yearly replacements. Now, the old ones that are still usable, we'll try to utilize them in maybe form of training room stuff, but the majority of them have had good use.
Haven't you stretched it out longer than
We
you
have,
used to?
and some of these mobile units are in the PD cars, which, you know, they're in a harsh environment. They're used in the rain, so. Most of the mobile laptops are for that purpose.
Okay. Does anybody have any further questions? Mr. Franklin? If so, do I have a motion to approve the purchase of fiscal year 2017 replacements of desktop and laptop computers utilizing the state of Georgia procurement contract from Dell in an amount not to exceed $67,500?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item number 9, consideration of a motion to award a contract to Elliswood Contracting for the city of Statesboro street resurfacing West Harris. Thank the Lord.
This is Mary stated, this is for the much anticipated resurfacing of West Harris Street. As you may recall, we wanted to start this project after we finished Savannah Avenue because these two roads are very similar in that they're both old concrete roads that were built kind of the same way, and they have the expansion and contraction of the concrete, which caused a lot of issues on both of these roads. So that turned out to be a pretty good decision because we had to make some adjustments during the Savannah Avenue project to the asphalt mix that we were using and the methods we were using. So we kind of took that information and put it into the specifications for West Parish Street. So I think it will help us on this project. We advertised for 1 month. The city received sealed bids on August 2nd. Elliswood submitted a low bid of $187,424.50. And Elliswood just happens to be the same subcontractor who pays Savannah Avenue, so they're very familiar with the issues involved in this road, so I think that'll help out. The city's budget for the project was $300,000, so we're well under budget. This will be funded using 2013 SPLOST funds, and so we're recommending to award the contract to Elliswood. If you have any questions.
So, when will the construction start, the paving, how long do y'all think it will take?
I don't think it'll take very long. We're looking at probably no more than a month, but that's probably conservative. It'll probably take less than that.
So after we approve the contract, we're looking at starting somewhere within the next 3 to 4 weeks probably. So somewhere in September, basically, we can pay them without this fee.
Okay. Oh, I'm excited.
I'm too ready to start with.
Okay, I have no further questions. Do I have a motion?
Maybe we can start in September, maybe we can get that sound off.
That poor fellow that keeps saying he hope he doesn't pass away before it's done. Put that in paper out that we're doing. All right, do I have a motion to award a contract to Elliswood Contracting for the City of Statesboro street resurfacing of West Parish in the amount of $187,424.50.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Agenda item 10, consideration of a motion to award a professional services design contract for the design of a sidewalk on East Main from Lester Road to Sandy Hill Apartments to Maxwell Reddick and Associates in the amount of $23,800.
This, purpose of this is to award professional service design engineering contract to Maxwell Reddick. The ordinance requires anything 20,000 above, we bring the council for approval. So that's what we're asking for, to approve Maxwell Reddick, and that's this amount for this design.
I did ask Robert that one of the things that is real important to me was that we have a sidewalk that goes all the way from downtown to Mill Creek. And right now, we don't have a sidewalk from Northside Drive to Lester. Up a little bit. And so I know that we came away on the budget on Berry Street. I don't know if that's been used for something else. But I just asked to look into that because we've got a recreation department that people can't walk or bike to theoretically. Even though, it was put in the county and now in the city. So that was one of the things, at least this is part of that to do, because I know that the big thing that's gonna make it tough is trying to get from Northside Drive to Packing House Road, because on either side of that road is poles and it's just a mess.
Houses are this close too.
Yeah, I know. So that's one of the things that I guess probably I should go about looking into to see what our options are there, because theoretically people can't walk to it. So
We did discuss that, and our thought was approve this, because this section's been on our books for a while, and it was a right progression. We did Lester Road first, and actually around by the Mill Creek was done actually first, and now this will connect Lester, which has got traffic as well, foot traffic, and then let us look at that next, see how much money we have, and hopefully bring something. And maybe we do the next segment with the Packing House, because I think Brad said a lot of the foot traffic is actually Packing House, coming out that way. So maybe we knock that out next, and we just keep working our way, when the dollars come in. And fortunately, I think we have a little bit. Get the design done and see what we're really dealing with from a ditch standpoint and utilities and all those, and get a feel for how much money we're talking. It's good stuff.
And just side note while we're talking sidewalks, have we looked at putting sidewalk requirements into some of the development? We talked about that where, talked about that a few times.
Yeah.
Kind of like the sign ordinance.
Yeah. I don't know, I'm not gonna put anybody on the spot, but we have discussed that a lot, and I think the turnover in staff has slowed that down, but it is a priority. Frank knows that we'll be working on that, and Jason knows that they'll be working on that, and bring something.
The new guy living in Mark, right?
There you go.
Sidewalks, baby.
Yeah. Get your signs turned down, but maybe get sidewalk.
You can write your name on it.
So you have asked, and it's our fault that it hadn't gotten in front of you.
Oh, no, I just wanted to agree for it.
Nope. Thanks.
Okay. Do I have any further questions for Brad? So do I have a motion to award a professional services design contract as listed in agenda item 10?
A motion, yes, so moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 7, A motion to approve resolution 2016-33, resolution approving the uncollected personal property tax bill list for 2014. Ms. Sue.
This is a yearly reoccurrence
And,
resolution for our uncollected personal property taxes, which amounts to $320.89 this year, 2014. It has decreased considerably. We've tried to wait an extra year because we found that we can collect more. Back in 2013, it's almost $2,600 we wrote off. In 2012, it's over $7,000. So by waiting an extra year, we kind of collect a little bit more. And this year's is proving that by waiting, I believe, 2014, waiting an extra year, which, like I said, only amounts to $320.
Amazing. You did a good job.
So that's it.
any questions for Ms. Sue?
I have a question, was the money collected in-house or was it outside source?
Yes.
Okay, who owes the $314?
It's kind of $12 for the town.
Who is it? Never mind. So I was
You,
just
you really don't want to know who's on the list. It's in the packet
Okay.
for the reference. What percentage of non-collections is that? I mean, minuscule.
It's gotta be that.
And this is it for the whole year? This is the only thing we can talk about as far as property tax for the year?
For personal.
Per person?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve resolution 2016-33?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please say by saying aye.
Aye.
All in favor, did I get 3 ayes? Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 12, other business from city council. The city council, have anything they'd like to bring up?
Bring up the fact that Mr. Rodney Jefferson, when he came to council a couple months ago, talked about stock development, but he initially had his first program in Statesboro, and he invited council, and I was able to go over there, and a good turnout, and they all one of the guest speakers, and they're hoping to come to Statesboro with the stock development program, so we'll be seeing back here soon.
Okay. How many folks did they end up having? Councilman Jones, I think you said it was quite a few.
There's a fun when I got there, it was all day from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay. Any other comments from city council? If not, we'll go to agenda item 13 and city manager's comments.
I've got two brief items. First, I'm going to recognize Frank Beal as the Director of Planning and Development. He's going to update you on retail strategies, our contract with them, and where we are. Again, Frank's new, so he's getting into this, but I think he's dug into it a little bit.
Yes, we have had the opportunity to basically gather the information that Retail Strategies has delivered to us so far. We've reached out to them as well. I think overall, it's probably a little bit better product than Robert and I and everyone else thought we had, so I think we got some pretty good information to move forward with. But what I am going to ask is for one of their representatives to come and really do a full presentation, wrap up basically of everything that they've delivered so far, and kind of give us a comprehensive, final conclusion of everything they've done for us. It's kind of come in piecemeal, to be perfectly honest, but we have put a lot of it together, but I think we need to get them in to kind of give us an overview of everything they've delivered. And so I'll be coordinating with the city manager, and hopefully we'll either do it as a city council meeting or a special call meeting, or whatever you guys think is the best way to produce that and do that. So that's kind of where we are with that right now. If anybody's got any questions, just let me know.
I might want to be thinking about that, whether it's a work session or whether we want to have a special time in the evening and let them come, so we can invite the public. But I want to see.
Depends on how long the presentation.
That's right. I want to see exactly what it is all in one thing first, and then I thought I'd get back to you. Just
If it's fireworks, we won't do that tonight.
And then,
Duly noted.
Just think of all possibilities.
thanks,
Duly
Frank.
noted.
You know, I've got one other item, and on your next agenda is when we will bring to you our recommendation for the millage rate. We'll get your opportunity to existing property values went down $1,473,000, so it's $1.5 million. That's existing, went down.
Out of the total digest?
Out of the total digest. Now, we had an actual 600, the net is 654 million, that's the tax digest, that's the 40% value. So anyway, it went down, which is not a whole lot, but I thought it would at least be flat or maybe up a little bit. Now, there was net growth, which took us up. So we have an increase in the amount of tax that we'll gather this year, but the majority of that was in the tab, and that's because of the Hamptons coming online. So the value there alone was the difference, I think, in 39 million to 47 million. So there's 8 million. So there's a net growth of about 10 million, 9 million, 9.6 million. I think the point I wanted to make is we have some options here, but I did ask John Scott where the biggest drop was, and he said it was in 4 of the existing apartment complexes that just aren't full, so their value went down. That was primarily, he did me a favor and really dug in there to find where most of that drop, and that was a drop of several $1 million in value. So he even gave me some statistics. So I think there's 4,000 some odd parcels, 3,700 something went up, 400 went down, but of those you had some big ones in there that went down in value. My recommendation is going to be, we actually have an option when you fill out this form and it tells you what you can do. Because of having a drop with our millage rate of 6.358, we could actually roll it up to 6.372. That allows you to have a no net loss in revenue from your existing properties. But being that we have some growth from new development, my recommendation would be that we hold the 6.358, and we'll take a slight loss from the existing, but we'll make it up in the other. But again, keep in mind, it is in the tab, so there's general fund dollars that don't come in, they'll go specifically to the tab, which is a good thing, but I just want you to understand that.
And I think one thing too, if I'm not mistaken, this is the second year where our tax digest has gone down.
It did, it went 2 million something last year, 1 million something this year. Before that, it had actually gone up 10 million the year before that, so.
And a little something to think about, and this information was sent to me. It's not for public consumption in a sense, and I'm not going to tell you where it's affected necessarily, but apartment complexes in Statesboro report that there's about 2,400 beds empty. And Georgia Southern's enrollment, real enrollment, that's people on campuses, overall enrollment, my understanding is that they expect to have that reported up. Not tremendously, but it's up. And it's up to people coming here to enroll. So our, birds are coming home to roost, or chickens are coming home to roost. I mean, all this building, while it looks wonderful, and getting all the wonderful fees that you get from building permits and those kinds of things, we're now sitting here with a lot of empty rooms and empty spaces, never good. Just go look at the empty Kmart, which is not going to be empty long, but empty Winn-Dixies and those kinds of things around town. Empty space is not a good thing. So we're going to have to be looking really hard at the tax digest and what we expect to happen coming up as we strategically plan going forward. But, it's black and white. We got issues. So
I'm excited that some of Frank's background is in the redevelopment, incentives and other things that you can do. And we've seen some of that. Like you mentioned, the Kmart Shopping Center with the new business going in there, and with the development in the TAD area, some of the residential, not the big apartments, but the smaller units and all, going, seeing that. That'll be reflected some next year. But again, a lot of that'll be in the TAD. So what I'm excited about is when that starts going outside the TAD, and that effect, we're looking for that halo effect. So that was it. I just let you know that I'm going to be coming back to you in a few weeks, probably with the millage rate at 6.358, which is the same.
okay. So how does that work? And do we need a public hearing or can we just adopt it?
You can just adopt it. It's up to you.
Just not doing anything with it.
We don't have to have a public hearing. You just have to have it.
If we keep it at 3.58, we can not do a public hearing. I think if we raise it, though, even that little percentage we have.
We have to have three public.
I I would confirm that. John Scott said he didn't think that was the case.
No, that's what we did last year, though, wasn't it?
No, it's when you, hold it and your growth is actually up. Because theoretically, you wouldn't see increases with us holding it even at the 6.372 because it would be a net zero. There might be a couple people that would see it go up, but the majority would see it stay the same. And so, but I was gonna confirm that. That he thought it was, that you wouldn't have to have it.
And I think we talked about, looking at the numbers, it was about $9,000.
It wasn't a whole lot.
Yeah, we're not talking about a significant amount. Okay, that all you got?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, in that case, Ms. Sue, has anybody, signed up to make a public comment? Okay, in that case, do I have a motion to enter into executive session to discuss personnel matters?
So moved.
Do you have a second? Any discussion? All in favor, please state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?